Hi everyone, it's Plastic EP coming in from Melbourne, Australia. I've got Vicky here. She's on the left of me. How are you, Vicky? I've got Leslie Cavendish, our friend, my uncle, coming in from London, the UK. And don't worry, Leslie, when I fly into London, we're going to lunch. Okay, don't worry. You, me, and Vicky, and your wife. How's that?
Make sure you take Vicky on a really nice, good lunch there. She deserves it.
You're going to be with us.
Good.
Okay, now
Good.
listen.
Yeah.
You know what's happening, don't you?
I do indeed. You know what? I've been down this road before. You told me you wouldn't get to 100. Then you couldn't get to 200. Then you said, I'm never going to make 500. So you've got me onto it every time. Congratulations. But you know what? This is a milestone. This is like climbing Everest.
Yeah.
1,000 shows.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was 1,000 people that you knew. But you obviously found them, and congratulations, man. You've obviously got a great job. You make people feel comfortable, and I can see that I'm going to be on now for the 2000th show. But so
for sure,
hurry up, will you?
Hey, listen,
please hurry up. Good luck to you.
I want to say something now. All right, in honour of being the hairdresser of the Beatles, right? I had to wear my Letter B t-shirt because you did their hair, and I mean, how massive is that? Come on, the world loves you just for that.
And how messy is that? That's a messy haircut, but that's a good haircut.
And not only that, you know, they're releasing hundreds of books every week, new Beatle books. But let me tell you, this is two of the best. There you go, Leslie Cavendish, The Cutting Edge.
Oh, sure my God, I had never seen that before. Hold on. I think I've got the other copy. That, believe it or not, look at this.
Is that, yeah, okay. But have you got the one from Spain?
I've got the one from Spain, but I'm not going to tell you. You can't speak Spanish. Okay. Anyone who wants to speak Spanish, get to me. But yes, here it is.
Okay, ole, ole. And I just want to say something else here. You can't buy this book without this book, right? The Beatles and me on tour, Ivor Davis. Now, you know the guy stays up late just to watch us. So he'll be watching this, right?
Good. That's a good double act. The Beatles with Ivor Davis and some hairdresser that cut someone's hair. Yeah, that's a good bookshelf for people who want to read good books.
Yeah, I just want to say, you're both my uncles. I love you both. You know that. And I just want to tell everybody, go out there, get that book. I think he's going to extend this book now, The Beatles and Me on tour, Ivor Davis. And don't go and get The Cutting Edge by Leslie Cavendish, because there's so many great stories in both these books. But, you know, at the moment, there's so many Beatle books coming out. I can't keep up with it. I've done so many interviews now within the last 3 months of just Beatle authors, and it's just coming from everywhere, you know. I can't understand how much money people have got.
Well, it's not that. It's just that people are writing about every single thing that they can think of. I've got a new book coming out as well, which I will tell you about a little bit later. Yeah. But when it comes out, it'll be an exclusive to you. But you're going to be, this one's going to blow your mind, the book I've got.
That's fantastic. I need to blow my mind. But let me tell you, you know, Ivor Davis, I came up with the best sayings about Ivor Davis. And this is what these two things are for marketing, right? Ivor Davis is groovy and is famous. That's the first one I came up with, the original.
Very, very,
but then I thought I'd extend that because you do a lot of seminars with him, right? You two are like just together, you know what I mean? And this is the other one. Ivor Davis, he's the greatest. Okay, come on.
You sound like a white Muhammad Ali.
And don't we love the Beatles? And I want to say a big hello, right, to Michael Lindsay Hogg. The guy's just fantastic, all right? I don't want to say anymore. I love the guy.
Good. He did a good job. And you're looking good.
I feel it.
What are you listening to?
Well, I'm listening to you talking, right, because it sounds better. But let me tell you this.
Distracted.
No, I'm not distracted. You got my full attention. Now, what I'm going to ask you, Leslie,
the last time we spoke and I had my earphones on, I was listening to the cricket, which was pretty good.
Why? Because England was winning.
Even if they weren't winning, it was good. In fact, it was a very good series, so it was a good one.
Now, also got to say this, as you know, Paul McCartney's coming to Australia to do his tour, and also Kiss has been selected for the AFL football grand final. They'll be playing at the, you'll see that live all over the world. I'm sure you're going to watch that.
I think that's their final tour. I was with them in London, and I think, again, it's their final tour, but I think this looks like it is the final of the final tour. But what's final? But if you get a chance, anyone, to go and see Kiss, first of all, say hello to Tommy Thayer from me, and also most spectacular rock act. Incredible. So,
exactly. Now, I've got to tell you one thing about Kiss. They are the greatest when it came to merchandising. They learnt the lessons of the Beatles, and they followed what it was right, not to make any mistakes. And I've got to say that they are the most merchandised band in the world. The most merchandised band, bigger than the Beatles when it comes to merchandise, is Kiss. That is a fact.
They are. And also, as well, I was having lunch with them all, and every one of them is a Beatles fan.
I know.
You know, they really are. They get their inspiration from the Beatles, and as you well know. So there's a lot of.
But I'm going to ask you this: since you're the hairdresser to the Beatles, right? Did any of them say to you, Leslie, would you be kind enough to give me a haircut? Because they know that you were cutting the hair for the Beatles. If I was a Kiss member, I would have gone, Leslie, can you cut my hair? Did anyone ask that?
Yeah, Tommy, the spaceman. Spaceman wanted his haircut.
And did you cut it?
So not yet, because he's still on tour. I couldn't give him a skinhead like I gave Paul McCartney. But when I go to LA, I'm meeting up with him, and I'll see if he's retired, and I may give him a haircut there. But in fact, he's got his own winery, so I think would rather have his bottles of wine than I'll cut his hair. We'll see what happens. You go
and sit down there and relax. Now I want to ask you something on a serious note, right? I want to know your most loved Beatles album. What is your favorite Beatles album of all time?
Hard Day's Night.
Is it?
Yep.
That's unbelievable, because I thought you might go for Rubber Soul or Sgt. Pepper, but that's a great album. 1964, when Hard Day's Night came out, and I was in elementary school, that's in America, but because I'm in Australia, it was state school, as you know, and we had those red pillar boxes and those red telephone boxes, same as England when I grew up in the 60s. And it's amazing when you think of Hard Day's Night, when it came out and I heard it, it was like something you'd never heard before. That's how great that song was. Hard Day's Night is one of the greatest songs.
It was a very raw album. It was one of the early ones, as you say. Listen, the other albums, Rubber Soul, is also tremendous. But this was just when they started even moving on to 1632 track, but those early albums were fantastic. I just loved them. I grew up with them, and there's some songs on there that are fantastic. So, all the albums, very hard to pick one, but I go for that one.
Now, Leslie, what I'm going to say
is... What about you?
Sorry.
What's your favourite album?
Okay, because I'm going to edit this. My favourite album, Leslie's Please Please Me, because I just love every single song, and it's the Beatles coming out and saying, here we are, we're going to change the world, and this is us, this is our music, and we're the music of your generation. Without the Please Please Me, there'd be nothing. I mean, I saw us standing there, Chains, Misery. I mean, they wrote Misery for Helen Shapiro, and she didn't know anything about it. Went to a management, they didn't give it a song.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole book with your many people that I suppose that you've interviewed, songs that gave the songs the Beatles gave away.
Exactly. I interviewed the author.
Did you? Well, that
he's the guy, I just want to say, he's the guy that he manages Mendips, I think. John Lennon's house, I think. I've got to double check.
Okay, I didn't know that, but all I know is I knew a lot of the songs that the Beatles, we say, gave away. I mean, they even gave away to the Stones, didn't they?
Yeah, I Want to Be Your Man.
There you go.
But the story with that.
A taxi ride in London.
Yeah, but the story with that. John Lennon came out later and said, that song was for Ringo. You didn't think we were going to give him an A-side song, did you? Now, what I want to do, Leslie, is I'm going to edit this. I just want to thank you for coming out and saying about the 1,000, then we'll stop it, and then we'll do the part for the special that I'm going to do. All right?
Okay.
Leslie, I just want to say, you know, over the course of the journey of 1,000 shows, I'm very fortunate they were able to get Beatle people and, as I said, be the glue that actually brought Beatle people together, because people didn't know who was what from the Beatles, or, you know, who was in the UK, who was in England. And over COVID, everybody got to learn about the Beatle people and they were able to connect. So it's really great, the fact that that actually happened. And I can't thank you enough. And I'm just saying, being your friend, being Ivor Davis's friend, being Chachi's friend, being Charles Rosenau's friend, the list goes on, right? Sean Weeks. I mean, it doesn't stop. These are great people, like all the people. And I just want to say out there to the world, you know, I've done this. I got to 1,000. Took me just over 3 years. It's unbelievable. I dedicated my time, basically my life, day and night, day and night, day and night. And it's an experience that, you know, historically, all these interviews are going to live forever. You know, I might not be here. I haven't had a chance to see these 1,000 interviews, but one day I will. And I just want to say, it's just the greatest honor to have been able to do that. And meeting you, and, you know, you come on the show, you supporting the show, and you just being you, it's just like, just so fantastic. I wake up every day. I got your book, you know, and it's not that. It's
Thank you.
You're a person of the world, you know, and your history in Beatle legend is going to be there forever. I'll give you an example. I just was going through the internet. There you go. There's a picture of the Beatles from Magical Mystery Tour at the front of the fish shop counter. And who's there between them? Leslie Cavendish, hairdresser to the Beatles. I mean, does it get any better than that in your life?
Well, you know, thanks. I know you're so enthusiastic, which is, and your personality, it gets people like me interested in you. And I'm sure all the other authors, all the other Beatle people say thank you, because I've met many people through you who have contacted me, and I've contacted them. I've met them, and I wouldn't have met them without your help. So a big thank you from me and to all the other people in the Beatle world for reaching this milestone, which is a milestone. You know, 1,000 shows is a big one. So well done, mate. Well done.
Thank you, Leslie. And I just want to give you our love from Plastic EP and Vicky. Vicky, say goodbye to Leslie.
Bye, Vicky. Make sure you take a good lunch or dinner or both. Go on, spoiler.
Okay, that's solved. So I got that now. Okay, so that's great. I'm going to edit that. Now, what I want to say, Leslie, is let's just go into a conversation where you say just congratulations, Plastic EP. You don't have to talk too much. You can say whatever you want, and then I'm going to edit this and put it in a special that I'm doing with other people. And it's like they're doing a talk. I've got a professional person who actually, Jude Southern Kessler, you know Jude Southern Kessler. She did an audio book and used Scott McKinley, and Scott McKinley will do the hosting of the show. Like, he's like a professional DJ and he imitates the Beatles. He's got it down pat. And he helped to do the audio book. So he's going to host it, but I'm going to whack this into the special. And that was brilliant for you to say, let's do it now. You're not going to get up 2 a.m., whatever.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I'll just give you the intro and we'll start again.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Plastic EP Worldwide Phenomenon Special. Phenomenon. How do I say it?
Phenomenon.
Okay, right. I'll just do it. It's all right. No, I'll try again. Okay. Okay, thank you, Vicky. Hi, everyone. It's Plastic EP, and welcome to the Plastic EP Worldwide Phenomenon. And let me tell you, coming from the UK, where else in London? But we've got Leslie Cavendish, hairdresser to the Beatles. And let me tell you, just such an honor to have him on the show. How are you, Leslie?
I'm good, thank you, Plastic. I wanted to say thank you indeed for, again, the invite, the 100th, 200th, 500. This is a milestone. You should be very proud of yourself. And don't forget to thank your dear lady, Vicky, because without her giving you permission, or you getting permission from her, you wouldn't have got through 50. So well done, Vicky. Well done. 1,000, that's a lot. How'd you feel? You had a good time with it?
Yeah, I just think it's just something unbelievable. I got to say something to you. It's like that movie Tron. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Tron. You can look it up on YouTube. But this guy lives in a computer. And I feel like that. I feel like I live in the stratosphere and I'm a human cyborg. because, you know, it's like, it's just that kind of feeling. I can't tell you anymore. And I've learned, it's like this, pop culture is there forever. And you've lived pop culture. You got to ask yourself, right, Leslie Cavendish is going to be remembered as the Beatles hairdresser. He knows everything anyone wants to know. Has to go out there and buy the book, The Cutting Edge, because all the stories are there. And it's also, there's a Spanish version, and you can't get better than that. Read the stories about the man, because he was there. And the fact that you were there, Leslie, this is the unbelievable part, right? You knew the celebrities. You met the celebrities. And this is not only the Beatles, other people. And then you lived that 60s, right, where things were happening so quick. And at the time, you couldn't recognize it 50 years later. This is going to be like pop culture forever. And that is the most important part. I can only imagine what it would have been like riding in the Magical Mystery Tour bus with the Beatles, doing a movie, and just doing that. To me, it's like mind-blowing.
Well, it was a pretty mind-blowing, mental mind-blowing thing, because at the time, to be invited on a coach with 43 people, including the driver and the four other Beatles, to actually be there and watch them work together, which was quite amazing. But everyone was so cool, and why it went smoothly was that the Beatles were acting naturally. It's a good name for a song, that. But yeah, so they made everybody feel comfortable, and it was fascinating. It was fascinating. What I saw on that thing, on the journey, was watching Paul McCartney, because, you know, everyone has a conductor of a band, of an orchestra, and I saw that McCartney was the band leader, the conductor of the Beatles, which probably people knew at the time. It wasn't until I actually saw them on that journey, and also the recording studios, it seemed to be McCartney leading the way. You've only got to watch the documentary and you'll see that. But yeah, it was fascinating, and something I've never forgotten, and feel quite privileged that I should have been there or invited.
Well, the great thing, I've got to say, there's so many photos on the net of you with Paul, right, waiting for the bus, with him reading the paper. Then you went across the road and had a cup of tea. I mean, these are amazing stories. And actually, on the Magical Mystery Tour bus, the bus was wedged in a bridge. They took a turn, whereas wedged there, stopped all traffic. And I mean, you can only imagine the stories that you did when that happened.
Widdicombe Fair, they were going over the bridge. Driver didn't realise that the bridge was too narrow for the coach. Had to reverse it. Lennon got out, went berserk, and not berserk in an insane way, but just frustrating. You know, you're going somewhere, then you have to reverse back. It was quite surreal, quite funny. You know, that particular shot was never shown. I'm not even sure if the cameras, you know, nobody had iPhones at the time. You know, we weren't walking around with cameras. So that was never shown, but it certainly did happen. So yeah, you know, watching all these people interact, watching the fans, meeting the Beatles. It wasn't the time where they were going to JFK with people willing to pull their hair out and rip them apart. These were people who were young adults, mothers, and they treated the Beatles with respect. And I've got to say that the Beatles treated them with respect, you know, autographs, things, and they're filming, you know, as well. So it wasn't a prima donna type of thing. It was, you know, as an observer to watch that was quite amazing, you know. So yeah, you would have had a ball there. I know that.
I would have loved it. But I've got to say, the sad part is this Magical Mystery Tour movie happened after Brian Epstein passed away. So you can understand it wasn't really a great time for the Beatles. And they basically had to go solo and organise this film and do it under those circumstances. So it wasn't like, hey, it's happy days, because you can tell that they were, obviously they were mourning after he passed away, and then to go and do a movie is not an easy thing. You agree?
Well, the thing is, they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do it. They could have postponed it. You know, they didn't. As an old saying, the show must go on. You can see McCartney, you know, the uncuts. I've seen lots of uncuts that were not in the film. McCartney's head on. When I met him, you know, I was asked 2 weeks after Epstein died. I never thought in a million years that when he said to me, "What are you doing next week?" I don't know. I'm working next week. He said, we're doing this. We're going this on a coach down to the southeast coast of England, and I'm going. Well, hold on. The manager's just died, and we talked about it. And are you coming? Yeah. Okay. I'm sure, obviously Brian Epstein and the other Beatles were mourning inside, but you've got to see there was fun going on, and I'm sure Brian Epstein was watching over them, saying, "Go on, guys. I've seen you from the beginning. You can do it without me." So I didn't feel that mourning process was particularly there. What I thought about was how unscripted the actual movie was. It was really unscripted. They were writing it down as you go along. The only one that was sort of went by the script was Ringo and Aunt Jess. That seemed to be on the front seat, screaming and shouting, which was part of it. But the rest of it, a lot of it was improvised. So yeah, the show must go on.
But what a great film for something that's like out of this world. And I'm even saying those spaghetti bits where Lennon is shoveling spaghetti with a shovel.
That was amazing. That was done in a place called Raymond's Review Bar, which is the first legal strip club where women could undress and titillate people. And it was taken to the High Court to see if this guy, Paul Raymond, would be done for indecency. And it wasn't. So the Beatles did it down in the basement there with the Bonzo Dog Doodah band.
That's right.
If you see. By the way, let me tell you, Lennon's greased up hair was not me. I promise you. That was greased up.
See, the great thing is, the hairstyles and the people and the way they looked and what they did. But I got to say, some amazing stories, all right? Honestly. The one where you had to go to a dress-up party and Paul goes, "Go to my wardrobe upstairs and take whatever you want." And you see the famous blue Sergeant Pepper outfit, the jacket, and you put it on and you stand in front of the mirror and you go, "No, I can't wear it at the party." I mean, is that not a story that is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life? Who gets the opportunity to do that?
Well, that story stayed with me for 40 years. I never told anyone. It's just that I knew the story. It was the invitation to go to the Magical Mystery Tour party at the Royal Lancaster Hotel, 1967. Paul was with Jane, and they were going as the Purdy Queen and King, which is something that the Cockneys of London would wear in each borough. And he just said to me, "What are you going as? What are you dressing up as?" I had no idea that it was even, I didn't know it was a fancy dress party, to be honest with you. Well, I wasn't told it was. And I said, "No, I didn't know." And he actually said, "Go and see if there's anything upstairs that you can borrow and wear it." And that's when I went up and saw this Sergeant Pepper's uniform, put it on. For one moment, I had my hand out like left-handed guitar standing there, and I went, "Whoa, okay, off it comes," put it back, came down and went in my very lovely John Crittall velvet apple tailoring suit. Apple green it was as well. So there you go. So I went in my suit and he went as the Purdy King and Queen. Yeah, that was an amazing story. I always remember that story. And I told a few people, and it's not as if I told a few of my close friends, sort of saying, "Oh, you never guess what, I've seen this, this uniform." Never told them I put it on, never did this, because number one is, why? Why should I tell it? Why? I don't want to impress people and say this. Number two is, would people believe me? And number three is, what the hell? I've got the memory. So one day I'll put it down on paper. So as you said, it's in the book.
But I appreciate you said it on the show. But not only that, I like the one where you pull out outside a club in the Mini, your Mini, I believe, and you go, Paul McCartney's in the back. Do you mind if he comes in? And the guy didn't believe you, and then he sticks his head out, and the guy was in shock. I mean, that's the 60s, really.
That was an amazing story. That could be backed up by Chris O'Dell, because she was my girlfriend at the time, and Paul was with Franny Schwartz. And yep, that was a very funny story. Very, very funny story. The doorman's face. This was at the Arathusa Club, Kings Road. And I had a Mini with dark windows, but instead of wind down windows, there was the old early ones with sliding windows. And I stopped, and if anyone, well, they don't know, but at the Arathusa in the Kings Road, right on a zebra crossing, not the Abbey Road zebra crossing, but you know, and you can't, it's illegal to park or stop. But it happens to be right outside, so I just gently just stopped very, very quickly, pulled the window open and said, "Excuse me, could you I've got Paul McCartney in the car. Could you just take him out while I park?" And he went, "Yeah, mate, I've heard that before. I've heard that before." And then McCartney went, "We all got out. He parked the car for us." Shows you, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, but I've got to say these other stories, all right? Because every time I think of you, they're in my mind. They're it's forever, honestly. Now, I like the one, right, where you're on the Magical Mystery Tour bus, right, and they get to the fish shop, and you can tell us where the fish shop was. And there you are on the front line with everyone else behind you, the 4 Beatles next to you, and you're in the middle. What did you order? I got to know what you ordered at the fish shop.
You got to order cod and chips.
What about the Beatles?
Vinegar.
What about the Beatles?
Yeah, and you got to have a what you call a wally. You know what a wally is?
No, tell me.
Wally is a pickled cucumber. And then you order a pickled onion. And there you go. And that's what you order, with or without vinegar.
So you had fish
Always
and
have
chips.
It with vinegar and salt.
Most of you had fish and chips, yeah?
Oh, what's happened? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, did you catch that? Something happened. I lost you.
No, don't worry. I'll edit that out. I just want to ask, can you remember what you mainly bought? Was it just fish and chips?
It is a fish and chip shop.
Okay.
So you go in and order fish and chips. You can have haddock, plaice, cod, skate. You can have the lot, whatever you like.
Yeah, but I remember those onions, those pickled onions. They were big in jars, honestly.
A pickled onion and a wally with your fish and chips. Delicious. Delicious.
Now,
anyway.
when you look back, Leslie, honestly, on your life and all the stars that you cut their hairs for, the celebrities, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. What was the name of that lady that came in with the brother? Brother. The
Britt Eklund.
Yeah, Britt Eklund. I'm going to say that again. You got to tell me that story of Britt Eklund came in with her brother, younger brother, yeah?
Yep, Britt Eklund. Gorgeous, gorgeous. James Bond girl, a Bond girl. She's the one that was Rod Stewart's girlfriend, married Peter Sellers. She was gorgeous. And she was a client at Sassoon's when I was working there. I never did her hair, but she came in and said, "Can I see the guy that, what's the name of the guy that cuts, the Beatles' hair?" And they gave me. So guy came in, she was a young kid, 12-year-old. It was his brother, Carl. And he sat down and she said, "Can you cut his hair like a Beatle?" And you've seen the photograph, it's in the book.
Yeah, of course.
It's actually in the book. And yeah, so he's done a really nice thing there. Cut his hair, and he's got a complete Beatle haircut. It was, there it is. If anyone can see it. Can you see that?
Yeah, we see it. That's fantastic right there. That's perfect.
Yeah. And that's it. That's with her brother, Carl. And he got a fantastic, he had a rubber sole haircut. If you look at his hair, it was a rubber sole haircut. All pusher, fantastic thick hair. It's exactly what the rubber sole haircut looked like.
I've got to say, I love the rubber sole. I love the rubber sole album. I love it.
Another well-satisfied customer. Anyway.
What a crack up. Anyway, Leslie, I just want to say.
Yes, sir. Yep.
That's basically it. And I'm just going to wind it and I'm going to put it in the special. I'm going to work on the intro that you did and put it on the net and send it to you. I'll get that out there. It's really good. And I'm just saying, I can't thank you enough. I'll send it to you. And I just want to say, I'll just send it to you on Messenger once it's up.
Please do. And you take care. Love to Vicky. It must be, what time is it now?
It's all right. It's 9:24. Now I'll just wrap up. I'll just wrap up.
Okay.
And
all right, matey.
And all you have to say is again, congratulations. Plus, you can be on the 1,000 at the end, and I'll cut it. I just want to say, Leslie, you know, we might be in different countries, makes no difference. When we're together on the net, it's like you're my neighbor, you're so close. And this is what the world has become now. Everyone's in touch with everyone, and it's just an amazing time that we live in.
Listen, mate, congratulations on your 1000th show. You deserve it. You deserve every single one of those 1000 interviews because you know what you're doing, and you know what? People like you. So you take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And you, Vicky, take care.
He's saying, take care, Vicky.
Okay.
Thank you, Leslie, so much. All right, I mean that.
Take care, mate.
See ya.